Hello, welcome to this module, which is looking at the Find and Replace tool within Excel 2013. This tool can be used for a number of functions, for searching for items and changing them as you see fit. And a good example of this is when the good old human eye can't spot what you need to find. So what I've done here to illustrate this is on the screen you'll see I have a bunch of John Smiths. And all John Smiths, except that there's a few occasions, I'll just highlight a few, there and there for instance, where Smith has been spelt a different way. And let's say for an argument's sake that I need to find all those and either do something with them or at least know how many I've got, that kind of thing. So what we need to do is bring up the Find and Replace and Select tool, and this is normally located in the editing section of your Home tab. I'll click on this and choose Find. I've got some elements in there, so let me just return this back to normal. Okay, so this is how your window would appear the first time you used it. And I know I'm looking for that Smith spelt the wrong way or the right way, depending on your background. Smith, choose Find Next. You can see it's found one there. Click Find Next again. Found one there, and it's found one there, and it's found one there. And it will cycle through, simple as that. So at least that way you can literally find the items you need. Find All will give you this bit beneath where you can see all the relevant elements. It's fine, and it gives you their cell reference, so I can click on that, and it changes the highlight of the cell it's found. And that's all well and good, but what can you really do with that? Well, let's say I want to change those particular four to Jones, for instance. So I'll just go to Jones here. I'm going to change that. I'm going to say in replace. I'll type Jones, and I have an option here. I can still go through the Find options and just check that those are the ones I wanted to look at. Yeah, those are the ones I want to change. And I can say I want to replace that one. And you can see it replaces it. Or I can say I want to replace them all. Replace all. It tells you how many it did. There you go. You can see they've all been changed. What I'm going to do now is just leave those as they are. The next important thing in this searching and changing tool, find and replacing tool, is the element of case. You might find, for instance, if I type in here Jones like that, and then I type it all in uppercase. Let's say that I wanted all my text to all be in standard lowercase with an uppercase capital, but I know I've typed something correctly. Rather than go through and correct them all, what I can do is use my Replace tool. And I'm going to bring up these options here and choose Match Case. And I know I want to find all the elements where Jones is uppercase and replace it with the standard one. So I go to Replace All. You see it changes it. There we go. So other options in here are relatively self-explanatory, but we'll go through them. These options are the same whether you're finding or whether you're replacing. They don't really adjust too much, other than the fact that replacing gives you that extra criteria for what you want to replace with. So we'll stick on this tab for now. On the right hand side here you see Format, so you can not only search just on case or the contents, but also what the cell formatting is. So you may have, for instance, the number, let's say 100, and in one cell you've got it as a number, and another cell you've got it as accounting, and you don't want to find the ones that are formatted to accounting. So what you can do is say, I only want to find those that are set to number, and any that are set to the accounting format won't be found, or vice versa. Any way you want to cut that, really. And the same goes for the replacing with. You can set the formatting you want to choose to replace with as well. Underneath that, you've got, well, we've covered the match case item. That's fairly self-explanatory. The match entire cell contents tick box. What this does, so in the past we've just replaced part of a cell, and if you had just a single word entry like we had here, that's fine. But if you had multiple words, for instance, in one particular cell, and you want to change all of them and match an exact phrase, for example, that's where you'd use that tick box. And the other options in here are search within or replace within the sheet, so that's just the worksheet you're on, or if you had several, you can ask it to do for the whole workbook. You've got search by rows or search by columns, and that's just the order in which it pages through your data, whether it goes column by column or row by row. That's normally going to be useful if you know roughly where you want to find something. It's going to be a longer row somewhere, and it's just going to save a bit of time. Typically, you'd only really use that if you had a very large spreadsheet in front of you. By and large, otherwise, it doesn't really matter which way you search. And beneath that, you've got looking. So it says formulas, and although what we've got on the screen here aren't formulas, it's treating them as such. It's what we've typed into the cell up in the formula bar, and that's what it's really looking at. When it says look in formulas, in this case, it's saying look in what's typed up here. So look in typed text. If this was changed to, well, let me close this off here, deselect that, and bring that back. I need to get rid of these things here. Close that off. There we go. The other options you can search in are values. So you'd use that if you were looking for something in a cell that had been calculated rather than being typed in. So if we change that to values and ask this to search for Smith, it's finding them because they still are values. But by this change, it will also look into anything that's been calculated. So if you've concatenated some text together, or you're looking for numbers and you've got an actual output of a formula, that will give you that there. And the third thing you can look in is any comments. So if you put a comment in the review of the document, he'll let you search through that. And that really is it all for the main search or find and replace tool. There are other options in this list here which are very special. Go to will take you to a particular page, asking it to find any formulas, and I have gone into formulas here, so it's like saying there aren't any. Find comments, find any conditional formatting, very self-explanatory, find anything constant, and find any data validation you may be running. So that's the find and replace tool, and we'll now go on to the next module.